in the 10 Commandments, it talks about coveting what your neighbor has. And sometimes when we're at work and we see that others are being promoted, or how they're getting attention, or just how they're easy, they can move to the left and someone notice and they get applause or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? And then we start getting upset because that person got promoted easy, and look at you over here working so hard. Or, it took me 3 years to get that promotion and the other person, 3 months. And then you start talking about it, and then you bring it up with your coworkers. And it just resonated with me because, it talks about don't covet what your neighbor has, right? Because what happens when you start trying to covet what your neighbor has? You find yourself going to work every day, especially for us Black women. Guess what happens? Our hair falls out. You know why? Because we're coveting other people's, what they have, right? Also, our blood pressure goes up. Why? Because we're stressed and we're coveting what other people have, right? There's many things that happen in our health because a lot of times we're not focusing on on what we can do, maybe to get promoted a little faster, or look for a new job, or look for a new connection, whatever it is. We get off track, we get distracted because we're so focused on, Susie got promoted? Well, it took me 2 months, why did it only take her 1 day to be here? That's a little crazy story, but you know what I'm saying? So just want to say that it's easy, especially as a woman of color, when you see other people being promoted and put in different positions. And especially, there's so much racist rhetoric right now in this country. And so we know what happens in work. But I just want to remind you, don't covet what your neighbor has. What God has for you, he has for you. And, if we all got things so easy, really, why would we go to God, right? But we know that trials come. And I just want to remind you that if you are feeling stressed and you are coveting what your neighbor has, and I think especially as, a woman of color, a lot of times I'll be like, oh, white privilege. And listen, I get that. White privilege is just your skin color has never been a barrier for you. But remember, God is the only one that can open the door. God is the only one that can close the door. He's the only one that, can promote you and move you and all that stuff. So a lot of times we're thinking that, it's Susie or whoever it is at the job, but in reality, it's God. And one thing about God, he will tell you when it's time to move, or if you are facing that toxic or abusive workplace. You just got to listen. So just wanted to share that with you. I hope you're having a good day. Bye-bye.